Work here. I think in May this year it'll be 7 years. Well, before I did this job I had no inclination of what homelessness was about. I was an electrician, I was working building sites every day, and I had an injury, playing a sports injury, and they said to me that I would not be able to go back onto building sites. You need to find another career, just like that. So I thought, damn, what can I do? So while I was hospitalised and recovery, which took nearly 2 years, I decided to go to college and work with the youth offending team. And I did that, and I became an AA, which is an appropriate adult at the police station, worked at youth clubs and stuff like that. And then a friend said to me, oh, I work for Two Saints, do you think you could do with the homeless? I said, well, I've got to find a new career, and why not, you know? So I came along as a relief worker and used to do 2 or 3 days a week, and I got what we call here staff the Patrick House bug, and it's that bug of working with people, never knowing what's going to happen from day to day, meeting people from all different walks of life, and it was just so interesting. It just sucks you in to be able to know that some of the little things you do can make such a big difference in people's lives, and I've got the bug, so I hope that I'm here for life. Started as relief, and then I took on full time as day staff. And about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I got promoted to run the night team. So we're a team of 4, and then I run the whole 2 teams. So we have 2 on each night, and then I will stay from 5 o'clock to probably 2 in the morning. Depends on the hostel, how it's settling down. If we've got a lot of chaotic clients in, then I would never know what time I'm going home, because an incident can just happen through alcohol or through drugs, or an overdose, and then I just don't get to go home until that incident's resolved, if you like. So I took over the night team, and I've got a very experienced night team. Some of them have only been with us for 2 or 3 years, but 2 or 3 years in this type of work and environment, you soon learn. You learn on your feet very fast, you know. And now they're all very experienced, and I can rely on them 100%. And we have to work as a team. It's the biggest thing, is we have to pull together and be consistent in our approach to the way that we treat our clients. Christmas, I would say, would be the worst time of year, because we get so many more people coming into the services. Relationship breaks down at home, and for them there's no family, so they come into the service and they feel very lonely, you know, very alone. So for us it's a more sadder time of year, because we see people who have had these family breakdowns and relationship breakdowns, and they come in, they're really low in mood. So we do what we can to try and lift their mood at Christmas. So I would say definitely Christmas is a low period of time, yeah. I've probably got to say the last 16, 17 months have got to be the worst. We've had quite a few suicides in the building. And also a couple of overdoses as well, which the staff have managed to get to the client, but not been able to revive the client. So to see such young people lose their lives and take their lives has been a sad time. We've also lost some of our older residents that have been with us for quite a few years, and this has been their home for some of them 10, 20 years, you know, before becoming what we are now. They was allowed to stay longer. So we've lost them residents, so this has been the saddest time really to see that, definitely. Because we're an assessment centre and an intensive service, we have 57 clients, 57 rooms. So what we will do is, on the assessment side of it, we'll bring clients in, and we're doing a 6 to 8 week assessment and find out what their support needs are, working very closely with them. Then what we do is, if it was like an intensive service that they would need, and maybe through drug, alcohol or substance misuse, mental health, we would then, sometimes we would take them into this service and keep them here for an extended 6 months, or maybe refer them on to another company, a St James intensive service or something like that, so we can move them around the city to whichever is the appropriate support and accommodation for them. So on a week-to-week basis, we could see 3 new faces, and we could see 1. So it's never a figure on that. It does rise and fall. To be honest with you, I used to have nothing to do with any charities, to be honest with you, before this job. I mean, my knowledge of homelessness was very minimal. I used to walk past somebody in the street, as most people do, see them in the doorway and think, why don't you get off your ass and go and get a job? You know, I'm doing it, you should be doing it. Never really understood that there's different reasons for people to be homelessness. You know, we always just assume that it's, oh, they're just blagging us for a few pound here, a penny here, maybe buy some drugs, you know. But it's not about that at all. People are homeless for loads of different reasons, and it affects them all in different ways. So now I'll walk past somebody in the street and I probably wouldn't give them money, because that might help them to support the addiction that they've got. But I would probably say, look, let's go over to McDonald's or something, or Burger King, and I'll buy you a meal. And at least I know that my money has been spent on something to feed that person. So I look at it in a completely different light now. But based on that, I still don't give to charity. I'm a firm believer that what I do now is my contribution to charity, and I'm quite comfortable with that, really. I think if the public knew more about homeless people, they would be able to do more. But I don't think homelessness is publicised enough. Hence why, for me, just walking down the street, seeing a homeless person, I form my own opinions about that person. And I think if there was more publicity, more media publicity and stuff like that, more documentaries, if you like, you know, about homelessness and why people become homeless and why they have addictions, I think then the general public would say, yeah, that's something I'd like to contribute to, you know, either financially or volunteer to come into that sort of work. So I think there could be more done. I think negatively by the ignorance. You know, I mean, if there was more publicity and people understood more, we wouldn't be so ignorant, we wouldn't be so negative about them. So I think, again, it's about opening people's minds to homelessness and people that have substance misuse issues, because it's just, we just assume that, you know, oh, they're taking drugs because they love to take drugs. Well, at the beginning, maybe they tried it as an experiment, got in with the wrong crowd of people, got in this substance, and now they're hooked. And it's not like a light switch you can switch off and say, I won't do that anymore. There's got to be a programme to work you off of the substances. And I think the cities don't have enough rehabs, you know, to help people. So they just tend to be in places like Patrick House and left to their own demise, really, which is pretty sad. Definitely one in mind for the city that we live in. When I first come into the job, there used to be a night shelter, and what that was it was as rough as you could find. It was just a big room, mattresses on the floor, a bit of bedding, maybe a cup of soup and some rolls, but people were able to get off of the street and just go to the night shelter for 1 or 2 nights maybe. It would all be free, paid for by the government, financed by them or by a charity, and then from there they would be able to see the street homeless prevention team and then maybe get into a project like this. But I think through finance that they closed down the only night shelter we had, and now what we find is we have so many rough sleepers in the city. Now, for the likes of the general public, we walk around at night, we come out the nightclub, we go home, we don't really see them. We may see the odd one dotted here and there, but it's the big car parks and the railway stations behind sheds that these homeless people are sleeping in this type of weather that we've just had as well, -4 or 5 degrees. And then there's a big risk of people losing their lives for sleeping rough. So I think the city needs to put back in place another night shelter, you know, just to help us get the people off the street. I think the last count in this city was possibly 23 people, 24 people sleeping rough on the streets at night. So it's a big issue, really.